Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. Today I'm going to be sharing with you all of the books that you chose for me to put on my recommendations cart for 2023. I wish you could see my situation right now. I can't really maneuver my phone, but I am surrounded by stacks and stacks and stacks of books. The total of books that you guys recommended is 133. They're not all going to fit on this cart. I think I can fit usually 70 to 80 on the cart. So I have to get a little creative about how I'm going to store these books, because I like to take them and put them somewhere different than just on the shelves, so that I go to these ones maybe first or look to them when it's time to choose my books or for my TBRs or for readathons or whatever, and see how many I could get read in the year. I've done pretty good. This is my 5th year doing this project and probably my last year of doing this. And I think I've done about 40% of the books on the cart get read throughout the year. I would love to have that be a little higher, but I also have books on my shelves still that I'm very interested in. So today I am not taking any time with these books other than categorizing them. I'm not telling you synopsis. I'm not linking them in the description. I'm not telling you how I feel about them, because there are 133 books to go through. So the first stack is my middle grade books, and these are going to live on my middle grade shelves. I'm going to rearrange that shelf so that these have their own shelf on my middle grade shelf, and I have just alphabetized them. That's it. So I have A Night Divided by Jennifer A. Nielsen, Absolutely Truly by Heather Vogel Frederick, Al Capone Does My Shirts by Jennifer Choldenko, As Brave as You by Jason Reynolds, Birch Bark House by Louise Erdrich, Butterfly Yellow by Tanha Lai. This is actually going to live on my Christmas Book Exchange cart, which is a whole separate cart. Caddywood Lawn by Carol Ryrie Brink, Carney's House Party, which is one of the short stories in this book by Maud Hart Lovelace, Chains, the beginning of a series by Laurie Halse Anderson. I have all 3 in the trilogy. Would really love to get to it this year. The Dark Hills Divide by Patrick Carman, also the beginning of a series. The Dollmaker of Krakow by R.M. Romero. I love this cover, so pretty. Another Maud Hart Lovelace, Emily of Deep Valley. The Hero and the Crown by Robin McKinley is the second Newbery book that's on this list, and I do know that it's the second in a series. If you have read this one, do I need to read The Blue Sword first, or can I read this one out of order? Are they companions, or does this actually follow the events of the other one? Let me know. Another Christmas Book Exchange book, Kelsey Murphy and the Academy for the Unbreakable Arts by Erica Lewis. The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. I can't believe that I've never read this. Lions of Little Rock by Kristen Levine. The only person that I accepted 2 books from were Love That Dog and Hate That Cat by Sharon Creech. These are both books of poetry. I put them kind of together on my spreadsheet, so they count as one. The Mighty Miss Malone by Christopher Paul Curtis. Miraculous Miranda by Siobhan Parkinson. The Moomins and the Great Flood by Tove Jansson. North Child by Edith Pateau. One Crazy Summer by Rita Williams Garcia. Prairie Lotus by Linda Sue Park. Project 1065 by Alan Gratz, another Christmas Book Exchange book. Redwall by Brian Jakes, a long series. This is the first one. I'm excited to give it a try. Savvy by Ingrid Law. Another duo. I think the person who recommended said the second one. I don't know if these are companions or not, so I just put them both on. The Story Keeper and the Story Collector by Kristen O'Donnell Tubb. And these take place in the New York Public Library, so those are kind of fun. What the Moon Saw by Laura Rousseau, another Christmas Book Exchange book. I'm kind of glad we get some of these off the shelf. When the World Was Ours by Liz Kessler, comes highly recommended by Amanda from the Curly Reader. Words on Fire by Jennifer A. Nielsen, and The Year of Miss Agnes by Kirkpatrick Hill. So those are all the middle grade. The next 5 I'm going to share with you, I've pulled out from the pile because these are 5 books that 5 or more of you have recommended. So these are kind of priority reads for me this year, and the likelihood is high that I will get to all 5 of these. So we have To All of Your Great Delight, At Home in Mitford by Jan Karon. This is going to be read this year. Many of you are begging for it. Where the Forest Meets the Stars by Glendy Vandera. The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, one of the newest acquisitions to my shelves. Holy moly. I'm a little nervous about that one, but I'm gonna do it. And then 2 middle grade, Fish in a Tree by Linda Mullally Hunt. This is another Christmas Book Exchange book. And Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston, which I'm really excited for. I've heard such good things. Oh man, I'm excited for all these, but some more than others. So now I'm just going to go through alphabetically. Yeah, some have been on the cart for many years and they're still here because I do really want to read them. Yeah, again, if they're Christmas Book Exchange books, I'm putting them back over on my Christmas Book Exchange cart. If they are books of from the list of 12 books that I want to read this year, I think almost 1, 2, 3, 4, all but 4 of those books were recommended to me again this year. So I'm glad I chose the 12 that I did because you guys really want me to read them. So the rest of that stack is going back over on that stack. So it's not going to go onto the cart. I'm not going to put them immediately onto the cart because I might have to move things around in order for things to fit well on the cart. So I may have to just rearrange things and then I'll show you the cart at the end. Maybe I'll do a time lapse of trying to fill the cart. So for now, they're just going to stay in stacks, but let's go because there's a lot of them. The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared by Jonas Jonasson. The 49th Mystic by Ted Dekker. Let me know if you have read this one. Should I reread the Circle Quartet? Black, White, Red, Green. I've read them, but it was a really long time ago. And this does say it's Beyond the Circle one. Should I get the other ones fresh in my mind before diving into this? Let me know. But I love Ted Dekker, and I've been wanting to revisit him because it's been a long time. All the Little Hopes by Leah Weiss. She's a local to me author. I really do want to read something from her. America's First Daughter by Stephanie Dray, a book exchange book from a couple years ago. The Amulet by Anne Bennett. This is a book exchange book from this year. The Anatomist's Wife by Anna Lee Huber. This is the first in the Lady Darby mystery series. I think I might put Book of the Month books back up on that shelf too, just to save room on the cart. But I have As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow by Zulfa Kato. Very excited for this one. One that's familiar with the cart because it's been there for a couple years. Bel Canto by Ann Patchett. Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Caroline by Sarah Miller. It's like a Little House on the Prairie revisited. The Christmas Bookshop is going to stay with my Christmas books by Jenny Colgan. Another familiar book on the cart, City of Thieves by David Benioff. Confessions of a Curious Bookseller by Elizabeth Green. The Curious Charms of Arthur Pepper by Phaedra Patrick. The Darkest Child by Dolores Phillips. Darling Girl by Liz Michalski. Dear Martin by Nick Stone. Dragonfly by Leila Meacham. Some of these are very familiar to me living on the cart. The Dressmaker of Kerkana by Gail Zamak Lemon. Evil Under the Sun by Agatha Christie. The Extraordinary Deaths of Mrs. Kipp by Sarah Brunsvold. Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer. The Fifth Avenue Story Society by Rachel Hawk. The Flight Girls by Noelle Salazar. Florence Adler Swims Forever by Rachel Beanland. Happiness for Beginners by Catherine Center. Harry's Trees by John Cohen. Another one that I've been wanting to read for a long time. The Haunting of Maddie Clare by Simone St. James. Heart in the Highlands by Heidi Kimball. The Henna Artist by Alka Joshi. Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. Why? Who did that? Who recommended that to me? Yikes, I'm scared already. Hostage by Claire McIntosh. Y'all and your creepy books putting them on my shelf. Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet by Jamie Ford. The Hypnotist's Love Story by Leanne Moriarty. The Indigo Girl by Natasha Boyd. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Iron Lake by William Kent Kruger. This is the start of his Cork McConnell series. The Island of Missing Trees by Elif Shafak. The Island of Sea Women by Lisa C. Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Rayborn. The Last Checkmate by Gabriella Saab. The Last Flight by Julie Clark. The Last House on the Street by Diane Chamberlain. This is a Christmas Book Exchange book. The Legend of Sheba by Tosca Lee. I really enjoyed her book about Judas, so I'm really curious to see another biblical fiction by her. Letters from Skye by Jessica Brockmole. The Life We Bury by Alan Eskins. The Littlest Library by Poppy Alexander. Christmas Book Exchange book, The Lost and Found Bookshop by Susan Wiggs. The Lost Girls of Paris by Pam Jenoff. Lost Lake by Sarah Addison Allen. The Lost Melody by Joanna Davidson Politano. The Maid by Nita Prose. I'm always glad to see Amy Harmon on the stack. Making Faces by Amy Harmon. Matt Haig's The Midnight Library. The Midnight Rose by Lucinda Riley. Midwives by Chris Bojalian. Murder at Malwyn Hall by Colleen Cambridge. The Music Shop by Rachel Joyce. The Next Louise Penny. I had someone just say the next Louise Penny that you have to read. So for me, that is The Nature of the Beast by Louise Penny. The No Show by Beth O'Leary. The Number of Love by Rosanna M. White. Oliver Twist, the only classic on the shelf this time, I guess, if you don't count Agatha Christie, by Charles Dickens. I'm also glad to see a Jamie Jo Wright book on the shelf, On the Cliffs of Foxglove Manor. 3 more stacks. We're almost there. The Paris Seamstress by Natasha Lester. The Passengers by John Mars. I feel like I bought this book when I first started BookTube. This should have been on my 12 books for 2023. Poison Study by Maria V. Schneider. I think it's been on the cart almost every year. The Poisonwood Bible is on my 12 books by Barbara Kingsolver. The Power of One by Bryce Courtenay. Oh, here's another classic. It's a play. Pygmalion by Bernard Shaw. The movie musical My Fair Lady is based off of this story, and I've never read the original, so I'm excited for that. Room by Emma Donoghue on my 12 books for 2023. Also, The Serpent King by Jeff Zettner is also on that stack. Susanna Kearsley, an author that I did not read at all in 2022, and I really would love to. I have quite a few of her books right behind me here, and many of them I still need to read, so I'm looking forward to that one. You guys want me to read The Shell Seekers by Rosamund Pilcher. I really want to read it too, especially after hearing Meredith, one of the hosts of the Currently Reading podcast, rave about it. I'm even more excited to read that one. Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. Sold on a Monday by Christina McMorris. This is on my 12 books for the year. Sunflower Sisters by Martha Hall Kelly. I think this is the 3rd one in the series, so I feel like I need to read Lost Roses first. I've heard that you don't need to, but I'm not an animal. I like to read my series in order, so I should have put Lost Roses on the cart too. It's not here this year. Take My Hand by Dolan Perkins Valdez. The Storm Sister, which is the next book in the Seven Sisters series by Lucinda Riley. Thorn in My Heart by Liz Curtis Higgs. I think the person who recommended this actually put the one that I haven't yet read in this series. There are 4 books in this series, and I've read the first 2 or 3. This is book 1. I would like to revisit it before just going into the 4th one. So it's a Christian fiction, kind of taking a look at the life of Jacob, Leah, and Rachel, but set in the Scottish Highlands. I remember loving it the first time I read it. I just never finished. The True Story of Hansel and Gretel by Louise Murphy. Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. Another Amy Harmon, The Unknown Beloved by Amy Harmon. Upgrade by Blake Crouch. The Note Through the Wire by Doug Gold. Last little stack. Here we go. Miss Read, Village School. Oh man, I'm so excited for this one. The Violin Conspiracy by Brendan Slocum. We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lange. Another Rachel Houck, The Wedding Chapel. Another Christmas Book Exchange book, When We Believed in Mermaids by Barbara O'Neill. When We Had Wings by Ariel Lahan, Susan Meissner, and Christina McMorris. So excited. And another Christmas Book Exchange, Whistling Past the Graveyard by Susan Crandall. The Winemaker's Wife by Kristen Harmel. I need to look into this one because a couple of you have let me know that there is an adultery storyline in here that's a big part of the story. I need to look into this one a little bit more because I just don't love books that have that as like a major part of the story. Woman of God by James Patterson and Maxine Petro. And this is on my 12 books for the year pile. And then finally, Yellow Crocus by Layla Ibrahim. That is the end. All of those now have to find a way to fit on my cart, or the majority of them. So all in all, it's 133 books. So many of you recommended books, and most of you followed my directions to only give me 1 book. There were 2 books on the list that were nonfiction that somehow were on the wrong shelf, and you guys recommended them. The Sun and Her Flowers, and then another something about Her Royal Highness something, I forget. I took those off because I didn't want nonfiction on this cart this year at all, but the rest of them are on there. Can you guess what the highest rated of all of these books? I'm going to give you a second. Put it in the comments. What do you think is the highest rated of all of these books while you're thinking? I did make a spreadsheet where I put the title of the book, the rating, the author, and who recommended it. And then if it's in a series or a Christmas book exchange book, I put it on the side. I want to see if you can guess what the highest rated one is. All right, I'm going to show you. I kept it out. The Way of Kings has the highest rating with a 4.65. 4.65, that's super high for such a chunk-a-monk book. I guess if you're taking the time to rate it on Goodreads, you've taken the time to read through the whole thing. And if you haven't finished it, you just might not give it a rating. I don't know. So this is going to get read this year. I'm committing to it. I'm saying it in the open. It's going to happen. And I did just pull aside 5 books that are going to be my 5-star predictions, which will be a video that you'll get to see very soon. But now the task at hand is to fill my cart. Yikes. So I'm going to push my tripod back and I'm going to time lapse it. So we'll see how it goes. But I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for recommending books. This has been a fun project. This is going to be the last year of this project. I'm going to do something different next year. I have loved seeing what you guys want me to read off of my shelves. The funny thing is, after pulling all these off, I rearranged the shelves to kind of fit a little bit better. And they're still stuffed. I have way too many books. But I kind of love it, so I'm not sad about it. Thank you so much for watching. Let's chat in the comments below. Do you see any favorites in here? Can you guess what my 5-star predictions are going to be? I would love to kind of hear what you think about that. And that's going to be it for today. Thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch and interact with me in this way. I love that you're involved in my reading now. And I look forward to talking with you in another video very soon. Bye. I did it. They're not any longer in alphabetical order, but I did it. Oh, Shell Seekers. Book of the month here. Other tall hardbacks up here. They're just harder to get down in here. They're somewhat still alphabetical, but really there's no rhyme or reason. But I look at this card all the time. When I'm filming, doing lives, my computer sits up on top. So I will be looking at these books all the time. And then down here I have, oh, you can't see them. Down here I have the ones that were recommended by the most people. So those are sitting right here. They all fit. Yay! Exciting. Well, obviously I took out 5-star predictions. I took out a couple for other reasons. I took out my 12 books. I took out middle grade. So I took out Christmas book exchange. But the rest of them, they all fit. Yay.